You've seen the headlines, right? NFTs selling for insane amounts of money. But have you ever stopped to think, what are you actually buying? What do you really own? Well, the answer is kind of complicated. And to really get it, we've got to start with a story about a massive multi-million-dollar screw-up.
Okay, so get this. Back in 2021, a crypto group calling themselves SpiceDAO dropped nearly $3 million on a book. Not just any book, though. It was this super rare copy of the story Bible for a Dune movie that never got made back in the 70s. They were so excited they went on Twitter and announced their big plan. They were going to make the movie themselves. There was just one teensy-weensy $3 million problem with that plan.
Turns out, owning a physical copy of a book, even a crazy expensive one, doesn't give you the rights to the story itself. You can't just go and make a movie. So, you have to ask, how could a smart group of people make such a costly mistake? Answering that question, well, that gets us right to the core of what you're actually buying when you buy an NFT.
All right, let's break it down. The whole SpiceDAO mess really comes down to one crucial difference. It's the absolute heart of the NFT world. The difference between the token and the actual IP. Okay, let's do the quick, nerdy definition just so we're all on the same page. An NFT, or non-fungible token, is basically just a unique bit of code. It's a token that lives on a blockchain, which is just a fancy public ledger, that proves you own something.
Now, that term non-fungible is the key. It's what makes an NFT different from, say, Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin is fungible. My Bitcoin is worth exactly the same as your Bitcoin. We could trade them and it wouldn't matter. It's like a dollar bill. But an NFT, it's unique, one of a kind. Think of it like the actual Mona Lisa painting. There's only one. You can't just swap it out for another one.
And this takes us right back to our friends at SpiceDAO and their very expensive book. Here's the absolute takeaway. When you buy an NFT, you own the token. That's it. It's like a digital receipt on the blockchain. It does not automatically mean you own the actual art or the song or the movie rights. That's a whole separate deal. And honestly, that's where things start to get really interesting.
So, if buying the NFT doesn't automatically give you the IP, what do you get? What are the rules? Well, the truth is, there's no single answer. We're seeing brands trying out all sorts of different things, creating this whole spectrum of what digital ownership can even mean.
And you can kind of group these experiments into three main buckets. On one side, you've got the super traditional lockdown approach from a brand like Adidas. Then in the middle, you have a sort of hybrid model, like what Nike's doing. And then way over on the other end of the spectrum, you've got the full-on crypto-native approach of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And each strategy tells you a lot about what the brand is trying to achieve.
Let's look at Adidas first. With their Into the Metaverse project, the legal stuff was super straightforward. Adidas keeps all the rights, period. When you buy the NFT, you get a license to use the art for personal, non-commercial stuff, like a profile picture. The best way to think about it is like buying a t-shirt. You own the fabric, but you definitely don't own the Adidas logo printed on it.
Okay, now for the middle ground. Nike and their digital brand, RTFKT. They take it a step further. Nike still owns the underlying IP, but, and this is a big but, they give you a license to make money with it. You can literally create and sell your own merch based on your NFT, up to $1 million in revenue. It's a pretty clever way to tap into that creator energy while still keeping some control.
And then there's this. This one sentence from the Bored Ape Yacht Club's terms and conditions completely flipped the script. When you purchase an NFT, you own the underlying Bored Ape, the art, completely. I mean, wow. It is the exact opposite of the Adidas model.
What this means is, you buy the NFT, you own the IP. That's it, full stop. Projects like Bored Apes, World of Women, Afro Warriors, they're basically just giving the IP to the community. And the result? An explosion of creativity. People are launching streetwear lines, writing books, making music. There's even a Bored Ape-themed restaurant. And get this, Reese Witherspoon's company, Hello Sunshine, partnered with World of Women to turn their characters into movies and TV shows. It's wild.
So that begs the question, right? If giving away the IP creates so much energy and value, why isn't every company doing it? Why are the big guys like Adidas and Nike playing it so safe? Well, it all boils down to one simple word: risk. And to understand that risk, you really only need to know one number: 65%. This number explains so much about corporate thinking.
That is the failure rate for new products launched by big, established companies. Think about that. Nearly 2 out of every 3 new things they try just fail.
That fear of failure is built into the very DNA of these corporations. Their whole structure is designed to avoid risk, not to embrace it.
And this is the classic problem for any big brand looking at new tech. Right at the beginning, when things are new and exciting, the risk is through the roof, and the actual proven value is at rock bottom. So from their perspective, giving away the keys to their kingdom, their valuable IP at that early stage, it feels like an insane gamble.
Plus, Web3 has its own special menu of risks. I mean, how on earth do you manage your brand when thousands of different people are using your IP in ways you can't control? Then there's the PR nightmare of environmental concerns around blockchain. And the law? It's basically the Wild West right now. We're only just starting to see lawsuits from brands like Nike and Hermes that will begin to set some ground rules.
If you want a perfect example of this, look at the clothing brand MeUndies. They bought a Bored Ape, trying to be cool and tap into the culture. But here's the thing, MeUndies had built their whole brand around sustainability. Their customers freaked out about the environmental impact, and it blew up in their face. A huge hit to their reputation, just like that.
So where does that leave us? We've got the cautious, old-school brands on one side, and these radical, wide-open experiments on the other. What does this all mean for the future of owning, well, digital stuff?
Because here's the thing. This is so much bigger than just JPEGs of apes or virtual sneakers. What we're watching is a huge live experiment playing out in real time. It's forcing us to rethink what ownership even means. It's testing totally new ways for people to create things together. And it might just be changing the entire relationship between brands and their communities forever.
Which really just leaves us with one big question to chew on. As more and more of our lives go digital, these lines are getting blurrier and blurrier. So the next time you think about buying something digital, ask yourself, are you a customer? Are you an owner? Or are you becoming something totally new, a co-creator? Right now, the answer to that is anyone's guess.